moral are not born into a person, they are nurtured. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Haidar Ramdhani from State Senior High School 1 Praya. And today I'm standing here to deliver my response about the arguments of the first speaker of the government side of the house before that about this motion that this house believes that moral education in modern school today is deteriorating. So firstly, there's something missing in their arguments. First, they don't tell us about modern school. So they just explain about modern era while in this motion it talks about modern school, not modern era. So this is it. I'll give my definitions about this modern school. So what is modern school exactly? It's a kind of school which its system is to teach students about the new things in modern era in simple words, if we say that. But if you want to know it clearly, modern school is a school with intention to make students competent in what they do, what do they like, so that they can improve, they can make something about what kind of things that they have already learned in that school. Let's say you are interested in sports like football, you can improve your skills there in this modern school. You can improve it so that you can produce, you can being someone who are improving in that field. So that's it. That's about modern school. Example, yeah. There's an example about this. Let's say Al Kausar Islamic Boarding School in Indonesia, and then Nsdc Modern School of Design in Yogyakarta, and so on. So that's the example of modern school. The second point that it's really fatal on this motion that they have delivered before. Okay, this is it. So about this motion, they misunderstood this deteriorating word. I have to underline, to highlight this. In this motion, it said that this house believes that moral education in modern school today is deteriorating. It's deteriorating word. It's the main problem of their arguments. It's like they are making this motion is about the moral education in school is disappear, is nothing in their school, while the motion want us to make a case when this house believes that moral education in modern school today is decreasing, or simply in modern school nowadays, modern school is moral education in the school is deteriorating, not disappear. So that's the fatal misunderstanding that they have delivered about this motion. The proof, okay, this is it. So they said that this is my rebuttal about the arguments. So they said that we don't have moral education at school. We will not gain any self-control. That's the first one. And then they said that the rebellion of students like brawl or working facility at school is because they don't have moral education at school. Okay, it's wrong. They say don't have moral education, while the motion wants us to make it like deteriorating, not like disappear from your school. Disappearance. It's not a guarantee that there's no moral edu at school, while we have 13 curriculum in our country which is intended to assess our cognitive, affective, and psychomotoric. I have to underline this. Affective, that's the point of this curriculum. So we are in a school, in a modern school, which are intended to focus on effective things. So moral is really can be lost in every school in Indonesia. Moral is a main point in every school in Indonesia. You can say that you don't have any moral education in your school. Because of what? Because this teaching curriculum is based on your moral. That's it. Okay, so here I will delve my points about this motion. I'm taking the opposite side of the house, of course. So about this motion, it's about environment. First point of my arguments is it's about environment who affect the student the most. Student rebel is not mainly because of moral education is deteriorating in the school itself, but it's about the student itself. So there are three factors of morality. Firstly, family. Secondly, school. And the third one, society or environment. So is moral, and the second one I want to highlight that is moral is really deteriorating in our school, in the modern school? The answer is no. We can say that. Why? Because I have said before that we have this 13 curriculum in every school which is controlled under the government itself. So this curriculum, the 13 curriculum of Indonesia is mainly based on how to develop a balance between developing spiritual and social attitude, curiosity, creativity, and collaboration with intellectual and also psychomotor abilities inside our students in those modern schools. And now those modern school is not like it's a free school. They are under the curriculum of the 13. They are under the government. So they can do whatever they want. So in those schools too, this effective thing, this moral education is always existed in every school, especially those modern schools who are basically is about technology or even or focus on what are you interested to. So that's it. If we say that this moral education is deteriorating in modern school, we can say that because every school must have this. I'm sure that every school have this moral education, even though you are not realized that it's existed in your school. Let's say when you are going to your class, when you enter your class, you are giving a greeting to your teacher. Isn't that one of moral education? So that's it. Moral education is not deteriorating in this in modern school. It's already strong enough, but it depends on the student who causes a lot of trouble. So that's my point in this motion. And the last one, I will close this, and that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Moral is the bestest thing, and the third is the substance of all morality. Okay, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Tabitha from State Senior High School 1 Praya, would proudly deliver my speech. But first, I will say that I strongly disagree with today's motion. Today's motion is this House believe that moral education in modern school today is deteriorating. Okay, first, before I jump to my argument, let me rebut the previous team argument or the government team argument. So the second speaker of the government team said that learning and research process makes us become selfish because they just care about their own academic. This is no correlation between selfish and the learning and research process itself. Also, if we relate it, the learning and research process came because there is social sensitivity from the around of their self. So we learn and we research research about something because we care about what happens in our around. So the social sensitivity came from the moral. So the learn and the research process itself means we are still exist the moral itself in ourselves. So the learning and research process, there is no correlation with the selfish. Also, the purpose of morality is to teach you not to suffer and die, but to enjoy yourself and life. State Ayn Rand, from Russian American writer and philosopher. So in here we can conclude that learning and research process is not to make the student become selfish. Because of what? Because the learn and research to learning and research came from the social sensitivity that born from the moral. For an example, student from Central Kalimantan, SMA Negeri Palangkaraya, named Anggina Sravitri and Aisa Relia Maharani, that gained gold medal in World Invention Creativity Olympic or WICO in South Korea, Seoul, because they find the medicine for cancer from bajaka root. This makes the change of the cancer so that it can be really recovered. It is increased the change of itself. So it came from the caring feeling of ourselves to around our the problem in our around. So it means that the learning process and the research process, there is no correlation with the selfish, and it is not valid. It's just the second speaker of the government team assumption. This is so assumptive. And the next argument that I point out from the government team arguments, second speaker, say that there is still moral education, but it is too little. It is really contradictory with the motion, because the underlying motion in here is deteriorating. The moral education in modern school is deteriorating. Deteriorating means that it decreased, the quality is decreased, but the second speaker said that it still exists, but it is too little. Too little means it exists from the start, but it's little. From the start to now, it's still a little. There is no deteriorating in here. My first speaker has stated that we underline on today's motion is moral education in today's school is deteriorating, not to never apply the moral education. And next, the next argument of the second speaker of the government team says that the moral education comes from the family side, makes parents just care that you are in a modern school, don't care about your attitude. The second speaker has said that, but there is no proof about that. And also, by putting their children to the modern school, that we also know, as we know that modern school have the must update education in there, it means that the parents so care about their children. There is no proof about the parents don't care about their children by taking them to the modern school. So it is so assumptive. And next, the second speaker of the government team said that if you live in a drunk or smoking people, it will slowly lead you to be the same. Or if you look at the people who drink liquor, you will follow them to drink liquor. But there is no proof about it. This argument is just assumptive. The second speaker also said that if we are among the bad people, it will make us bad too. And from we are the bad first, we will bring the bad attitude itself to the school, and we will spread it to other students. There is no proof about it. Ladies and gentlemen, if we if we have moral, we will still have principle in ourselves to not follow what bad. So there is no proof also in this argument. And next, the second speaker of government team said that in town city the moral education is low, but there is no data on there. So I conclude it that this is just their assumption. Also, the second speaker of the government team said that if we are in modern school, we can have a free time that we don't get protected by the school, and we can go to club, we can go to friend's house, etc. because parents don't care about us. There is no proof about it also. And also in modern school, there is full day school. It means that we start class from the morning to the evening, so there is no time for the student to go outside to the club or to go to the friend's house because they are tired of school, right? So the second speaker of government team, it's just an assumptive argument. Now, after I rebut all the second speaker argument, I will now jump to my own argument. So first, why I disagree with today's motion is because there is curriculum 2013 that there is a moral to humanize human. Also, today's Jokowi's government, Nadiem Makarim as the Ministry of Education, there is a program named Cerdas Berkarakter, and he erased the national exam to focus on the moral of the student. So it is proof the moral education in the modern school is not deteriorating. Okay, that's all from me. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. We become just doing, just acts. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear honorable judges, I am Bayi Sylvia Aryani Putri from State Senior High School No. 1 Praya. I will now deliver to you my speech about today's motion, which is this House believes that moral education in modern school today is deteriorating. Firstly, I will give you my rebuttal of points of the proposition side of the team has said. First, the first speaker of the proposition side has said that teachers only explain about science. This is not true, ladies and gentlemen. In curriculum 2013, teachers also explain about moral education, and moral education is being one of the main judging of students to be able to go to the next step. And then the third speaker of the government side of the house said that corruption rate in Indonesia has increased. This has no correlations to the motion, which is moral education, ladies and gentlemen. So this point is not included. Also, the third speaker of the government side said that Indonesian students always use vehicle to go to school. This also has no correlations to the motion. And also, they said that students that don't get moral education don't care about anything, and they fight always with their friends. This is not true. Where is the proof you get to say that students don't care about anything and they fight with their friends? Because in our curriculums today, students is paying respect into moral education. So it's also already being decided by the government and the school in the rules of the school. So students will not fight with anyone. And then the third speaker also said that if corruption increase, it's because moral. No, because the motion is saying that moral education in modern school today, I want today. Characters is people from the old days, not people from today. What we are talking here is about we as a student in modern day, in today's society, not people in the old days, ladies and gentlemen. So now I will give you our team's points of arguments in the opposition side of the house. As my first speaker have been stated that moral education is important, but the acts of the students is not influenced just by moral education in school. It's also influenced by parents and the environment they are in. Moral education in school has already given their role in teaching students on how to behave. The moral education in our today's curriculum, which is Curriculum 2013 in Permendikbud number 69 in 2013, has decided that there are three main judging in our subject, which is cognitive, affective, and physicomotoric. Affective side of the judging is where moral education is. It is being judging our spiritual and social attitude. If we don't have it, we can't get a better score. We need at least B score to pass in this moral education in today's curriculum. It also has been stated in UU number 20 in 2003 that national education system is being prioritizing the moral education and will make equality in moral education and also scientific education. Ladies and gentlemen, my point here is school has been done its duty to fulfill the needs of moral education in students, but it is back to the student itself, the environment of the students and the parents that is teaching the moral education. But school has already been done its duty to teach moral education to children. I will also show you the data of Belitung Timur that moral education has been affected children in there. Because what? Because the juvenile delinquency rate is keep decreasing per year. For example, in 2019, there are around 39 cases of students, but in 2018, there are around 39 cases of students. But in 2019, it decreased 50% to 15 cases only. This proves that in modern school, moral education is being applied nicely and is giving impact into the students' characterity and into the students' social attitude. It is also not deteriorating, ladies and gentlemen. The proposition side of the house misunderstand this motion. They only provided us with the effects of not getting moral education, and they are stated that we don't even have moral education, which in reality we have it. We have it in the old times, and even in now it is keep strengthening moral education. For example, for basic education, we get PPKN, we teach moral in PPKN. And now, in Curriculum 2013, it is more strengthening and it's become one of the most important judging things in our subject in school. In 21st century, moral education is needed to survive in our century. What is beneficial of moral education is that we can differentiate between wrong and right, we can eliminate the problem, and we can build a professional personality in ourselves. It is also being regulated in more rules in today's society, like in modern school, in EABS, they are applying 3 curriculums, which is national curriculums, Al-Azhar curriculums, and also Cambridge curriculums. Of course, this focus in both education and both moral education also, ladies and gentlemen. Moral education has already been assigned into our report card when we get our report card. Ladies and gentlemen, the modern school today also provided more connections between teachers and parents because they can consult about the student personality and they can make them more immoral. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, I very disagree that moral education in today's modern school is deteriorating because it's not the truth and it's already been regulated in curriculum 2013. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone's doing it. Right is right, even if no one is doing it. That's all from me. Thank you